Welcome again to Croquet America, where you can play from Maine, New York, North Carolina, Florida, California, but you got to get on an airplane to get to these places. Australia probably has a similar situation. Today we're focusing on the heartland, Oklahoma specifically, where there are two basic venues. Oklahoma City is hosting a golf croquet regional in the next few weeks. Today we're in Tulsa for the US Rules Midwest Regional Croquet Tournament 2022. The foresight and funding from J. LaFortune, a Tulsa oil man, allowed this park to open in 1960. It had previously been a poor farm, but it became Oklahoma's first county park, 270 acres with a first-class golf course, a fabulous tennis center, and, of course, croquet. Those two patches of grass just above the tennis courts are where we've played in Tulsa for many years. The new complex is that rectangular one at the top with the tent in the center. Your tournament manager is Bob Baker, who's run this club off and on since 1988. He's finally handing over the reins, and I'm pleased to announce that Anna Hansen is the new president of the Tulsa Croquet Club. We are now the official YouTube channel of the United States Croquet Association, where you can get everything you need to know about this wonderful sport of ours. This is one of two semifinal games. It's Stuart Price against Scott Spradling. The other one is Connor Helms versus Matt Griffith, and we don't have that one. Stuart Price is playing blue and black. He's from Tulsa, has a handicap of 4. He's only been playing a couple years. He's doing remarkably well. Scott Spradling is a -1. I've known him for a long time. He and his wife Suzanne are from Oklahoma City, where they're stalwarts of the program there. In fact, Suzanne is helping Cheryl Bromley run a golf croquet regional in a couple of weeks in Oklahoma City.
That was not intentional, I don't think.
So they playing 2 balls each?
They each play 2 balls, right?
Oh, okay.
So Stewart's playing blue and red.
The chatter in the background is me explaining the game to some passersby who are interested. We're always recruiting, and I hate to cut out the ambient sound completely, so bear with me.
So that he can then take blue down there and set up without taking any risk. This is the jump shot. So you bounce it off the ground to get it to go over the balls. But he didn't aim it quite right. Man, I can't see anything. Shit. Now all they can do there is knock each other around. They don't get extra shots. They can just clear each other.
Because they're not in the game yet.
Exactly.
So for him, he blocked the hoop again.
He's gonna clear something. That was a terrible shot. Yellow should be where black is, but he jumped over it. So now that puts Scott back. Okay, so he scored hoop 2, picked up his clip, and now he's for hoop 3. But he knows that red's coming in, so he can't go set up.
Ball.
He's leaving blue 10 yards from hoop 2. There's no question that Matthew Essick or Danny Honeycutt would have roquet yellow with red, done a croquet out to blue, and gotten a break going because black was 2 turns from getting in. Blue would have been better off in corner 1 or corner 4.
Blue pass.
Now that may not be such a great idea because black is ready to come in.
Pass, playing a shot.
You can pass if you don't want to do anything. Just don't play. That's your turn. I guess he's. I don't think he's coming in. He's going to sit right in front of it. Oh, he is coming in. And in general, join up with partner, frequently, so you can then hit each other and take off and attack and stuff.
His rush was so good, he's setting up the peel. Although, unless the balls are pretty close together after the peel, he may have trouble getting them both off the lawn. And Stuart is ready to pounce.
You got it. That's cool.
He's calculating that red is 1, the danger ball, and 2 is not a great pioneer, so maybe he'll get away with it. And Scott guessed right. Stuart is playing an Oakley Predator, Don Oakley's top-of-the-line mallet. He does that with a travel shaft and with various bent shafts as well, I think. Whoever taught him to stalk was pretty convincing. Scott's probably not thrilled by being in the lead here because Stuart gets to take advantage of any mistakes Scott makes. As much as I love this game, I think this is one of its design flaws because in first flight, people jockey forever trying to avoid being in the lead like this. The aggressive players just attack when they get in that situation. And there you go. He just gave blue and black a 3-ball break. Standard play here, if you want to run a break, is to put blue at 4 with enough roll on black to get a rush on yellow to hoop 3. So instead of a break, he's planning to try to maybe get clean off yellow, get rid of yellow, and leave blue by its hoop with black to make the hoop off of. You win by scoring the most hoops. This approach gets him a couple of hoops. If he'd run a break, he could have gone to peg. But that comes with experience, as does not being reluctant to run a break with the danger ball. The secondary goal here is to be able to peel black with blue. To do that, you have to put black where blue can knock it into peeling position when it roquets it. He was careful not to leave Scott a double target, though.
I'm sorry. I will watch.
Now he's going to try to peel black, because black now.
You're familiar with the deadness board by now. We added clip position. I never bothered to explain it. Just putting up the balls that any given ball is dead on is a lot easier than making those little panels with holes in them that slide back and forth. And of course, I would be remiss in the birthplace of the double-sided deadness board not to give Joe Steiner a shout out for having invented that. Blue and black are partner dead, and red and yellow are both clean. Scott's feeling better about having been in the lead.
So we are going to green, blue. Oh yeah. I'm doing it every two.
This lawn was running about 5.5 plumbers when we tested it before the game. That slowness doesn't just affect long shots, it affects delicate setup shots around the hoop as well. But this is the 4th day of the tournament, and everybody's playing the same grass.
teacher.
Because of yellow's deadness, he feels safe setting up. But from here, it looks like he could have gotten wired from red and still given himself a hoop shot. I mentioned plumbers. It's the unit of speed of the lawn developed by Ian Plummer, who's the editor of the Oxford Croquet site. Basically, you hit a ball from the north to the south boundary or vice versa and time it. And the longer it takes to go from one boundary and then stop on the other one, the faster the lawn. Fast is 12, 13, 14 plumbers. Slow is 5.5. Interesting. Blue and black are partner dead. He might have been able to set up. Lovely shot. And because black is dead on yellow, it was relatively safe. Regression to the mean. A great shot and will get you a clunker the next time more than you care to admit.
Okay.
It's good.
Something tells me that hoop 3 is going to have a lot to do with who wins this game.
Oh yes, you know I am. Yeah.
Are you the one that asked me for the YouTube thing last night?
Yeah, I found it.
Well, here, just in case you forget.
Okay, thank you. Nice to meet you, Rob.
Breeze stopped. Okay. The breeze stopped.
Yeah.
I see that it was just a temporary.
I'm tempted to raise that curtain behind me.
Raise the curtain. Okay, let me know if I can get you some. Block.
Scott called first block because yellow's 3-ball dead and either or both black and blue are blocking his shot on 3. His relief is that if Stuart is still responsible for his being blocked from his hoop in his next turn, he gets to be live on all the blocking balls. You got to read the rule. And Bob Kroger has a detailed analysis of this situation, and I'll put a link to that video in the description. It's really worth looking at.
Off the yellow
Whoa,
shoe.
whoa, yellow. Sorry.
It was yellow to
I
play.
got it. I got it.
It was yellow to
I
play.
got it.
Okay.
He's trying to.
I think this is a good example of why rushes are what you should be practicing most of the time, rather than long hoop shots or long roquets. He has a nice rush to hoop for. Instead of taking that, he's going to either try to pick up red, which makes no sense because red's the danger ball, or he's just trying to keep red and yellow from joining up. This was safe, but he just burned a turn, basically.
Blue play.
Blue play?
Yep.
He doesn't like that rush any better.
Oh, dumb play.
I think you got it first. I know.
Pull up.
This is going to come up again in the final, but Scott might want to just throw yellow out there now and tempt blue and black to get dead on it so that he begins to make progress toward breaking the logjam of three-ball deadness that's holding him back right now. There's risk involved. That's somewhat mitigated by the fact that blue and black are both a long way from their hoop four. Yes, there is a Pioneer red at hoop four, but 70 or 80 feet is plenty of distance for things to go wrong for Stuart. Looks like he's checking to see if he's going to get involved in a block again or not. Yellow definitely has a makeable shot. Not a high percentage shot, but it's a makeable shot for the purposes of the blocking rule. Kevin didn't expect him to have any trouble with this, otherwise he would have marked blue in case there was a mallet fault, like a double tap or beveled edge. Is he trying to pick up red by going through 3 back so that he can get red out of position and take off to hoop 5? Or does he just want to block it? It does seem that his priority is managing yellow and red's deadness.
Never to do that and always do it.
Sorry, I just laughed.
Blue to play!
Leaving blue as a pioneer for black at hoop 4 and setting up wired from red and guarding hoop 5 so red can't do much. I think Stuart told me he went to college on a basketball scholarship, so he's a good athlete, which explains why he's learned to hit the ball straight. I'm impressed, though, that he has a pretty good grasp of tactics for playing no longer than he has. I think just 2 or 3 years. Nice little pass roll. He might have considered putting blue on the east side at 4 so he could rush it over and pick up red now, but yellow's not a great pioneer for 5, so maybe that's a little risky.
You stick right out there in front of yellow. Ooh.
That Midwest region banner back there came from Walt Janitz, who had my job as RVP for the Midwest in 1998 when he quit playing for 22 years. He and his wife Sandy were here last year and wanted to be here for this tournament, but they've had hip and knee replacements in the last couple of months, so they're laying low for a while. This, of course, is the risk that Scott took in taking my advice and trying that long shot on hoop 3 with yellow when black was sitting nearby. Worst case, 3-ball break to the peg, but let's see what he gets out of it. He'll want to pick up red for blue eventually. He could just leave it there till he makes 3 back and drop off blue next to red then.
got it. Barely.
Standard drive shots a better approach to the hoop from this distance, but because yellow's so far south, he rightfully doesn't want blue going that far, so he can rush it back toward two back after he makes 6. So a roll shot makes sense, but you have to tone down the roll around the hoop. It causes problems all the time. There ensued here a discussion about 45 seconds.
Hey, timeout. He needs
That
to dunk.
timeout should be a referee's timeout, not a personal timeout.
Play.
It's not really specified in the rule book, but if you think your game needs a shot clock timer, the tournament director ought to get involved to appoint a timekeeper who is not the board keeper, because you can't do both jobs well. And remember that until the last 15 minutes of the game, the shot clock does not start until any ball that went out of bounds has been marked back in. In the last 15 minutes, the shot clock starts as soon as the previous turn ends, which means when all the balls stop rolling or go out of bounds. They never got to the shot clock stage in this game.
That's okay. It's 3 ball down.
I'm not out. I'm still in.
Alright, finish me out, Connor, goddammit. You've been playing like shit. I mean, I can't make a wicket, so I was like, I'm right in front of him, can't make it.
They're only called wickets in America. Everybody else calls them hoops to avoid confusion with cricket. Sticky wicket comes from cricket, not croquet.
Forty-three.
13:23.
I think there's 14 minutes and 43 seconds left.
Why did I think it was?
My hearing loss is raising its ugly head.
Red wave.
Red passed.
Who plays next?
Black. Black to play.
Thank you.
Sense of humor under pressure, sign of a future champion, probably. Taking the line shot again. And leaving a reasonable pioneer at Blues Hoop 5.
Minutes solids.
The purists insist on staying down until they hear the roquet. I think a better rule of thumb is staying down at least until your follow-through is complete.
Decent drink. No, I'm good. I'll finish this game, then you want to do the final or? Sure.
It's going to get a little confusing here.
Timeout.
I think Scott meant to call a timeout for ball retrieval, and he waited till his ball crossed the boundary. But he can't do that because only the striker can call that timeout, and as soon as his ball crossed the boundary, Stuart became the striker. Rule 13.8, paragraph C. So timeout for ball retrieval only works if you're behind and your opponent knocked a ball out of bounds.
So again.
We're under a minute.
I can't tell if blues for 6 or 1 back.
Blues for 6. Timeout.
9 seconds.
9.
Yep.
Stuart Price is going to be in the final. Can you believe that shit?
He's a good player. He's smart.
Oh, he's smart.
He played me smart.
That's Brian Hovis, the defending champion in this tournament, whom Stuart defeated in the quarterfinal by basically managing Brian's deadness the same way he's done with Scott.
Ball Scott needed down by Scott's hoop, and it would have been a piece of cake. And Stewart's other ball was 2 turns from getting in. I mean, it was. Give me a break.
All right, that's game.
So Blues first ball and last turns, and here comes Connor Helms checking out the competition for the final. He just beat Matt Griffith 16-6 in the other semifinal. Scott needs 4 hoops to tie. Not going to happen with red. Looks like Stuart realizes that yellow's wired from everything right now. And since he's responsible for it, he has to give it something to shoot at.
Good game, Stuart. Scott, I'm very sorry about taking up too much time. Well, that's all right. I get it.
So the newbie takes the veteran 7-11 to make it into the final against Connor Helms. Give us a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you'll know when I get the final up. In the meantime, check out the links to the USCA and to Bob Kroger's stuff on the blocking rule.
Shit, this is amazing.